Hey guys, welcome to the Flower Fanatic. I'm going to be planting more tulips today. I just did a video earlier on planting tulips, but they're for two different uses. The one in my earlier video was around the front of my house, and I planted them more spaced out, about 3 to 4 inches apart. And these tulips that I'm going to be planting are going to be going in this garden box. My chickens are going to help me out by pecking them and ruining them. Just kidding, hopefully not. Get out, chickens. And as you can see, this is where we plant all of our vegetables. We haven't cleaned it up yet, but we did clean up this one, my husband and I. I love the idea of planting tulips in this garden box because I want to make it very abundant and full looking. So in this 12 by 5, so 12 foot long by 5 feet garden box, I'm going to be planting almost 150 tulips. You could even plant 200. And I'm going to use it primarily for cutting and bringing them inside. I also love the idea of using this as a fun way to try out all the tulips that I love. There are so many different types of tulips out there. I was kind of late in the game this year. All the ones I love were sold out. This is kind of like a last minute decision. Hurry and clear this garden box and get these planted. So I got these varieties from Lowe's. The Blue Moon mix, and then these white bulbs. It's called the Bride. That's a fun one. And I think it's going to be really pretty just to intermingle them, have some white, and I'm going to use them to cut in because tulips are so beautiful to bring in and put in just simple glass vases. They cut really well. They'll last for about 5 days in your vase. And also another reason why I'm going to put it in the garden box is we have a lot of deer where we live. And if you guys know, deer love tulips, like I said in my earlier video. And in the spring, I'm gonna create a little cage, and it's gonna be an electric fence to keep them out. So I'm gonna do that before the tulips start emerging. And I think that will do a good job of keeping all my tulips protected and safe. So I'm going to in my other video, I use an auger. And I like using an auger for tulips that are more spaced apart. I don't like it as much as when I'm clumping them in and putting them about 1 inch apart, because the auger kind of just messes up all the dirt in close proximity, and so it's difficult to plant that many close together. So you can get away with planting your tulips 1 inch apart, and that's what I'm going to do here. It's going to be so beautiful in the spring when they all pop up. Both of these varieties bloom at the same time, mid-spring. And so I just can't wait to show you in the spring, and I'll show you also what I do to protect them from the deers. So it's gonna be really fun. Deer, not deers. Okay, so let's get planting. I was gonna say this from here to here is about a foot. So 6 inches is half of it. So I'm just gonna go to that depth. And then make sure that the pointer tips are up. And then you should be good to go. They should come back nice and healthy in the spring. See, this is pretty easy. I'm just gonna take chunks out like this. This soil is very soft and rich. I filled it with compost and fill dirt, and it's been really good for us. So I'm just kind of creating a trench right here. And then as soon as I plant these bulbs in here, I'll cover it with the dirt and go to the next row. I'll just remember that's about a foot apart. Pretty fun to plant these. It's easy. You just know that it's gonna all be worth it when you get those beautiful colors in the spring. Ooh, that one doesn't look very good. If you get one like this, it's a little bit rotten. Might as well just check that one. But most of them are really healthy. It cost me about $50 to get all these bulbs, and you can just store them once they're done blooming in a cool place. So it's worth spending that money at first, and then you only have to do that once. Oh goodness, these aren't gonna go very far. As I'm looking at this, I could literally have planted probably 500 in here. We'll just take it as far as it can go. See, it's all kind of a learning lesson. I kind of like that about gardening because it's just constant learning. So as you can see, I'll probably only be able to do half of this garden box, but it will still be fun. I'll bring in more. Next year, I'll get double of what I bought this year. And those deer are not going to be allowed to eat these tulips. So it literally took me about 2 minutes to do this one row. And I planted how many? Like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 bulbs in about 2 minutes. So you can get through them pretty quickly. All right, now I'll cover them. Where did my shovel go? This shovel is from like the 1950s. Pretty sure it was here when the first owners bought this house. Does the job. Okay, I'm just gonna cover those up. For me, that's a lot easier than the auger for this purpose. Oh, it's so satisfying to be out in the dirt. It's so therapeutic. Okay, now I'll move on to my next hedge, or my next trench, not hedge. I do love planting tulips. It's so fun to be able to have a garden and flowers. And that's what tulips allow you to do, because they're done blooming before you need to plant your tomatoes or your squash. And so you don't just have to have a boring garden box in the spring. This is a good place to plant it because the soil drains really well here. And tulips like well-drained soil so they won't rot, get root rot. Tulips are pretty tough, so don't be too worried about messing it up or planting them too close or too far apart. They'll be okay. It's funny, when I was little, I was so afraid of spiders in these little digging holes, but now they don't faze me. They're just kind of like friendly creatures. And I'm not even quite halfway through the box. So I think I was about right when I said you could plant about 500 in here. All right, now I'm just going for it with my hands here. This is a lot easier. I should have just done this. All right, I'm just gonna level it out a little bit. Okay, there we go. Near 150 bulbs planted in 12 minutes. I guess I did almost make it halfway through. So I want to fill it up next year, so I'm going to buy 300, and I think that should be good. I hope you like this video. I can't wait to show you what it looks like in the spring. Like I said, in the spring I'm going to do a video on how I'm going to protect it from the deer, and I'll show you what they look like and how they survive. Thanks for watching. I'm so glad you visited me today. Hopefully I've inspired you to go plant your own tulips. And thanks for watching. Bye.